Hey everyone, Rico Berg, Realtor with Bridgeville Real Estate Group, and today I'm here with John Chan from RBC. If you are new to the YouTube channel, then definitely make sure to subscribe. We provide a lot of really awesome real estate content, and I also do really great collaborations with professionals in the industry like John. So stay tuned. Today we're going to be talking about builders rates and pre-sale information in general. But John, before we get into that, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me. John from the Royal Bank, mortgage specialist, helping our clients achieve their goals, such as buying their first home or just getting themselves ready for the next one.
Yeah, first or fifth, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are the pre-sale extraordinaire, and that's why I like working with you for all
Thank you.
pre-sale deals. You know your stuff, so I really appreciate that. But I just want to start out generically, like when we're dealing with pre-sales, we always recommend a firm approval. A lot of people don't know that they can actually get a firm approval when they're purchasing a pre-sale. So can you maybe just explain to everybody what a firm approval is?
Yeah, absolutely. Firm approval with RBC means we've looked at the entire financial picture, both in terms of your income, your credit history, as well as the property that you're looking to buy, and give us a formal application that's good to go with what we call no look backs and holding the approval conditions as well as interest rates until time of completion. So you can see that's pretty powerful stuff for our clients, whether you're buying an existing property or even a pre-sale a couple years down the line.
Yeah, it's basically a guarantee, and like everybody knows that rates are really good right now. So if somebody was able to lock in today's rate or, a guaranteed builder's rate, then that's pretty important. Um, okay, so like interest rates, when we're talking about builder's rates and getting more into the nitty gritty of it, interest rates essentially affect your monthly payment. So if interest rates skyrocket by the time that the building is built, say you purchase a pre-sale now, but then 2 years down the road, 2 years comes by and all of a sudden the rates have doubled, right? I think that everybody can really understand why that like locking in the interest rate or that builder's rate with you now would be very, very valuable. But can you kind of just like explain to people like how interest rates and your monthly payment correlate? Is there a generic number?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before getting into the impact of rates change over time, maybe establish a little bit of how the builder rates work. We look at locking in everything based on what we believe that the rates will be at time of completion for a pre-sale. So say it's not ready for 2 years or 2 or 3 years, we use our analysis of saying, well, what do we expect the interest rates to be in 2 or 3 years time? And we will use that in our application. So number one, not to compare apples to oranges on that. A builder rate is the interest rates we believe will be the case down the road. Now, that's very important because just like what you said, if interest rates go up between now and that time, which we believe over the course of 2 or 3 years, yes, it'll happen, that you want to protect yourself. So the impact of interest rates changing maybe 0.5% or 1%, just using an example of a 300K mortgage, a 0.5% increase is about $80 to $100 change in your monthly payments. And that can be pretty huge when it comes to, again, whether it be your first property or your fifth property you're buying, a mortgage payment change like that can really be an impact to you. So with our builder rates, we can protect ourselves from significant interest rate changes over the course of 2 or 3 years and knowing, hey, this is the maximum you'll see on your mortgage down the road. And we can certainly keep an eye on things between now and that time to make sure you're in the loop, knowing what's happening, if we're on track with the builder, and benefit from having that peace of mind that your interest rates are solid.
Yeah, and I think that's really like it comes back to kind of like a peace of mind or a guarantee, right? But I think that your explanation of why the builder's rate is a little bit higher than maybe the current rate today makes sense. It's like we have to kind of assume to a certain extent that it might go up, but hope for the best, expect the worst. But I think that, one of the issues that I often see with that for people that are just focusing on rates is they don't understand that some mortgage brokers can't provide that firm approval for pre-sales. And so when they're quoting rates with mortgage brokers that don't do firm approvals, they're like, oh, I got this lower rate. Why is your builder's rate higher? Why are you getting a higher rate? But I guess what you're saying is that you could potentially be paying or seemingly paying a premium with a builder's rate, or might look like a premium.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's the one thing I really like to clarify with my clients when we initially discuss and throughout, as a reminder, to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges in those situations. I mean, there's a lot of other brokers out there that will maybe attract you at a really good um, interest rate, but those are probably only good for 90 to 120 days. And
Right.
they'll just say, hey, look, this is the rate, and come, and you look good financially, but come see us 60 days out from time of completion, and we'll look at that at that time. So what could happen between now and that time is maybe interest rates have changed, as well as maybe even your financial situations change of job, good or bad, credit situations change. You may or may not qualify for the mortgage you were hoping for at time of completion, let alone the interest rate.
Right.
And what would also happen is, again, since your interest rate was only good for 90 to 120 days, that could slowly change over the next 2-3 years.
Right.
With myself and my clients buying into a pre-sale, I've carefully explained to them, like, look, I could offer that same interest rate, but those were only good for 120 days and totally useless to our situation.
Right.
This is what we're offering that's expected to be the case 2-3 years down the line. Sure, we'll keep an eye on things. And as we approach that time of completion, we'll reevaluate things to see, hey, is the quote unquote current rate at that time better than what we quoted you a few years earlier, and give you the better of the two. So you basically have your back watched by RBC to be protected, number one, based on the approval itself, in case your income or credit has changed, as well as your interest rates have been held since the time of completion. And if they are lower in the future, we'll give you the lower of the two. It's a win-win
That
situation.
was my next question, is like, I think that maybe sometimes people can almost get scared if they hear like, oh, the builder's rate is at a little bit of a premium because we're assuming what, 2 years down the road is going to look like, or whenever the completion is down the road. But the misconception is that like, oh, that's absolutely, the rate that I'm going to get. But the good thing is that if it ends up being lower at the time of completion, you can switch them over to the lower one, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So really it's just a win-win in my head. And this is
Yeah.
why it's like you have to
And
talk to somebody about it that
exactly.
actually can do this firm approval and hold that interest rate.
To be honest, I don't know why people don't really get on top of their financial discussions early on. I mean, I guess in human nature, you're thinking, okay, my property is not ready for 2-3 years, so I have lots of time to worry about it, or not to worry about it. I'll go talk to my guy or gal closer to time of completion when I think I'll need it then.
Yeah.
But in reality, you probably should talk to your advisor early on. I mean, it doesn't hurt to talk to someone early on. Number one, to make sure that the numbers work
Yeah.
based on your situation, and maybe get that gauge on what the current interest rate environment looks like, what the future environment looks like, how to protect you against anything and anything between, so that you frankly, again, have that peace of mind. I know we throw that term around a lot, but it's true. You don't want to put it to chance. You made a large deposit to buy a pre-sale and just hope that it works. Again, 2-3 years from now, and have to feel really rushed to make some decisions when if we have planned something much earlier, we have lots of time to pivot between now and, again, time of completion.
Well, to be fair too, like I really feel like it's a misconception. Like there are even realtors that don't really know. And then there's buyers that don't know that you actually can get these firm approvals. But I think that maybe the biggest reason why they don't know is because not every broker can offer it. So that's why like I super appreciate you coming on to do this, because it is super important, because there's a lot of things that can change in the couple years out from today and when you actually end up moving into that place, whether it's government's changing things like adding a stress test, or
Yeah.
maybe your credit score changes or the interest rates double. Like there's so many unknowns, and so having that guarantee in terms of like the approval and the income itself, but then also the interest rate, is super valuable in my opinion. So that's all really good to know. And I think that it's just important that people get that. But
Mhm.
yeah, as I said, you know, everybody, not every mortgage broker can do it. Your safety is really the most important thing when you're purchasing an asset that's probably going to be one of the biggest assets you ever purchase in your life. Doesn't matter whether it's your first or your fifth or whatever, real estate is serious stuff. And so working with the right people like John that really understands pre-sale financing and how to get you those guarantees, but also at the end of the day how to, you know, get you the better rate in the event that things go lower, then, you know, talk to him. It's important
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And again, my name is Mariko Berg and I'm a realtor. I deal with pre-sales all the time as well, so feel free to reach out to us anytime. We're your real estate team. And yeah, John, anything else you want to say before we send off?
No, I think we've nailed it on the head there. Just get that advice that you deserve when you're looking at your first or fifth property.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. We do have other series with John. We've been doing a number of videos on mortgages and financing, so make sure to check that out. You can also subscribe to the channel for more. We're definitely going to be doing more stuff moving forward. And if you have any recommendations for videos that you want to see for topics covered, just let us know. But thanks so much again, John, and we will see you guys all later.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.